Welcome back, dear viewers, to another edition of the Visionary Corner right here on Millennium TV. We have you back on to ensure that we get you grilled to this particular edition as we bring you nothing but the very best of all the untold stories out there. Something to get you inspired, something to help you move on with a different mindset as we march on to 2025. I'm your host, Doreen Kapampan. Remember that we're also live on our Facebook page, which is Millennium TV Zambia. Remember that you are catching us live on your Top Star Decoders channel 95, and this particular afternoon we are so excited to get a different feel on a different story. This afternoon joining us is Madam Langizia Masengu Shimba, who is actually a secondary school teacher and an environmentalist at ZWO. She is also the CEO and founder. That is basically her position at that particular NGO. But well, she is here with us. We get to hear more about what this organization is all about. Just a little bit more about yourself and just welcome to the program, Madam Masengu.
Thank you very much, Madam Doreen. Thank you very much, viewers. My name is Langizia Masengu Shimba.
Okay.
And
as Langizia.
Yes.
All right.
Kulangizia.
Kulangizia.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a Nsenga name.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I'm the founder, yes, and the CEO of Zero Waste Organization. So Zero Waste Organization is an organization that looks into promoting sanitation and hygiene in Zambia. Sanitation and hygiene in Zambia. So basically, this organization started in 2018 after the 2017-2018 rainy season.
Okay.
By that time, I was just graduating from the University of Zambia, where I was pursuing environmental education. And so when it was rainy season, 2017, going into 2018, there was an outbreak of cholera. In Zambia. And so the journalist on TV said they had collected 56,000 tons of garbage from the streets and a skeleton from Bombay drainage. So to me, that didn't set off very well. And I asked the people that I was with in the living room to say, did they say 56,000 tons of maize? Or was it garbage? And for sure, when they played the clip again, we discovered that it was actually garbage and not maize. And that just moved my passion to this step of starting Zero Waste and playing a part in ensuring that we actually reduce the waste in our environment.
Amazing, but this should be coming from somewhere. I believe, Madam Langizia. I love how it's coming out. I think I got it right. Right? Is it coming from way back when you're young? You have this cleanness. You feel you have that irritation for dirty, of probably being a secondary school teacher, where teachers would always say, "Pick this paper, pick that paper. I don't want dirty." Where is it coming from? Really, why are you catching it up to say I need to really make it big? And
I'm actually a perfectionist.
Oh.
I always want, perfect things. Yeah. So when I go around and see waste, in the drainages and whatnot, I don't feel nice. Yeah, I don't feel nice. To tell you the truth, when I was going for my secondary education training, I was chosen to be, to do science.
Okay.
Way back at secondary school, I was doing pure sciences. So I didn't want to have anything to do with science, at college or university. Yeah, so I was called to go and do teaching. And then they put me in science. So when I reached the university, I didn't tell my parents I was going to change the course because I didn't want to have anything to do with science again.
But they knew you were good.
So what I did was I went to the dean and then we changed everything. Instead I did English and history away from science. So
was mom aware about this change?
No, she wasn't. Except they only found out when I was graduating. So again, I applied to go and do further studies at the University of Zambia. And then again, they said, no, you have to do science. So this time I said, maybe God is saying something about, my life and whatnot. So that's how I did. I pursued environmental education. Yeah. So here I am today as an environmentalist. Yes.
Okay, but how did it turn out? How was the road like? You're getting into a different class that you really never saw yourself getting yourself into. This is like a different, totally from what you wanted.
It's actually very interesting. It's actually very interesting, and I don't sleep. It actually moves me from one thing to another like that. So for me, I think it's a plus. It's a plus. I love teaching. I'm still teaching, but I'm very passionate about the environment.
Amazing.
Believe you me, I'm very passionate. I'm one person who can go out there in the rain and just start picking whatever it is. And the times when we were at the University of Zambia, we were actually very encouraged by our then dean, who would pick, trash from the lawn and whatnot. Yeah, he was just very passionate
about
yes.
Can you then explain to us the concept of zero waste and how it actually differs from recycling and reducing waste? How are you taking this approach?
Okay, so zero waste looks into how the products are, produced and how the products are consumed and indeed how the product is disposed of. Okay, so mainly as zero waste, people that are promoting, we encourage minimizing waste at the source. Minimize the waste that we are, coming up with, and maximize the reuse. Maximize the reuse. Because if we go to the shops and just, amass, you buy anything and everything that you see, at the end of the day, the consumer does not know where to take the waste. Okay? It is accumulated, but they don't know what to do with it. Okay? Mostly plastic. Plastic is a nuisance, to the environment as well as human health. It will block up, drainages. It will, it has its own way of just degrading the beauty of the environment. If you go to the dump site right now, my heart bleeds because I'm greeted by plastic. It's flying all over. And if you ask me, the people that threw that plastic probably are long gone. They are dead.
Sure,
but plastic hasn't rot. It doesn't biodegrade. Yeah. So we need to just look into these issues and minimize at all costs. And also to manufacturers, our plea is that if they can redesign most of these products, the what do you call them? The drips. Drips are a nuisance. They feel nice when you are drinking, but at the end of the day, you have drunk that water. Where do you take the sachet? The sachet remains on the street. On the street. I've not seen a recycling plant, old as I am.
Okay.
But I've heard that there are recycling plants around. But all I've seen in my profession as an environmentalist, trucks that, carry these things to the outside world, melted or recycled and brought back as finished products. Yeah. So I haven't seen any recycling plants that is visible. Okay. Yeah, but I've heard there are recycling plants in Makeni, which we haven't found. We have looked and not found. Yeah.
Well, but recently is what we came across, I think, the plastics were able to notice that they're now thinner than they used to be. Is that yet another thing that can help?
The Tumanine. The Tumanine. The Tumanine, we are told that they can melt, but I think there are better ways of packaging.
Okay.
There are better ways of packaging. I remember when I was young, my mother would go to the market with a basket, for example. Okay, not waiting for the tailor to give you a plastic.
Okay.
And this time you're even buying it, which is not supposed to be the case. Okay. Also at the butcheries, you know, in when we were young, mom would go and buy, and then, you know, they would wrap it in a khaki paper, which is, you know, destroyed at the end of removing the meat, you know, at home.
Okay.
And so we didn't have a lot of plastic then. We didn't have a lot of, because there were other alternative materials that were used, you know, to package and also to carry from the shop to home, like that. So those are issues. Those are issues that Zero Waste looks into and is still looking into until it is done.
Okay.
Sure.
But what are some of the strides so far from since the inception? These the Zero Waste organization. What are some of the notable? Let me just say things that you've actually started working on already.
Okay.
That you are seeing really removing this irritation you have for seeing plastic all over the place.
So 2 years ago, we had launched a Binit Zambians project at the Lusaka Main Post Office. So there we have put wheelie bins, and we have labeled them according to the waste that is supposed to go into the bin. So when we started, it was very hard. Of course, we have put an environmentalist there who constantly talks to people on which waste should go where. So we have labels.
Madam, we just throw in just waste.
Yes, Zambia. So we have, you know, labels such as leftover foods only. We have glass bottles only. We have plastic bottles only, and so on and so forth. About 5 of them. And it is doing very well because we have come up with a waste sorting system at the source. Yeah. I've heard a lot of our friends who are in garbage disposal, when they are collecting, usually they are hurt by, you know, they are cut by, you know, the waste that they, you know, collect in our homes. And so with this kind of system, the waste sorting system, people are able to say, okay, this is, you know, bottles only, glass bottles only. And in fact, our main aim is not to take waste to the landfill. Our main aim is to, you know, reuse it, recycle it, and so on and so forth. But we need to block waste from reaching the landfill. We can do composting. There are a lot of things that we can do with, you know, the so-called waste. In fact, I'm talking to youths now. Some of these ventures, you can venture into them. Waste should not be looked at as a nuisance, but it should be looked at as a resource, because from there you can make ends meet. You can make ends meet. You know, the few countries that I have, you know, traveled to, I have seen that they have a passion. As a country, they have a passion as a person, as an individual, you know, to do something about the waste that is being generated. At home, ladies, you can use old buckets, you can use old dishes, put soil in there, compost some of these veggies and whatnot that you have as waste in the kitchen. Put it in those broken buckets, and plant something. There's no excuse nowadays that you have no backyard space.
Yeah.
Okay, backyard space can even be in a bag of meal which you have emptied. You can use that and do kandolo. You can use that and plant rape and whatnot, instead of just always rushing to the market to buy.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Apart from that, what other practical tips and strategies that individuals can also use to reduce their waste and live more sustainably?
Thank you very much. I'm excited on that point. Say no to single-use plastic. Carry your own basket. Carry your own, reusable bag that you use to carry your things, from the market. Say no to the charcoal burning. This time it's rainy season, but are we seeing the rain? Maybe in some parts, yes, but Lusaka is a bit dry. I don't know. I can't say it's completely dry this time. It could be better than last year, but we still need the rains.
Sure.
We still need the rains, and most of the trees are gone. They are gone because we are doing charcoal burning. So if I know that probably the gas usage in Zambia may be new, and these alternatives, to energy, they could be new, but they are very good if we explode, so we need to say no to the, charcoal usage. Also, we can do composting. Those enshimas that, are leftovers and whatnot, we can do composting. In fact, with enshima, for me at home, I make mungoyo.
Oh.
Yes. I love brewing mungoyo. So I make mungoyo out of enshima. But there are those tomatoes, rotten tomatoes, and, rape and whatnot. Put them together. Let them, compost. And then use them at the backyard garden. It's actually better. Yeah. It's actually better than, the fertilizer that we buy from the shops.
Natural.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, but how does your organization promote zero waste practices in the community, and what kinds of programs and initiatives do you offer to these communities?
Okay. In communities, we have gone out with, we've partnered with some of the manufacturers, and we do road shows.
Okay.
Yeah, so through road shows, we are able to talk to people, we are able to do sketches, we are able to do a lot of things that, the community is able to learn from.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
But what kind of impact do you think your organization has had on these communities, and just how do you measure your success on that note?
Okay. Before we launched the Bean It Zambians project, we noticed that, even around the post office, the main post office was really, littered and whatnot. But now, people know to say, I'll find the bin.
Bin somewhere. Yeah.
I'll find the bin, and the correct bin. Not the one which is leaking, which looks as if it's also garbage. So people are able to, dispose of waste accordingly, the way it's supposed to be. So if only we can have more bins around the CBD, we should be able to score. We should be able to, to move forward as a country, as a nation.
But even with such a move that you are making, what are some of the challenges that you are facing in ensuring that these practices are communicated to the communities, to the public, and how are you managing to overcome them?
Mindset change is a big issue. Mindset change. As long as the waste is not in my home and it's also not in my car, I'm good to go. So if I throw out there, who is going to pick? We need to desist from the Boma Yanganepo issue. Boma is you and me. Boma, there is no Boma that will come and pick. It is you and me who are supposed to be responsible. Responsible in disposing of that waste. I can assure you that if we worked together, we can achieve a zero waste Zambia. We can achieve a cholera-free Zambia. We can achieve a zero diarrhea Zambia. But mindset is an issue. If only the government can also, through the authorities, of course, ban the use of single-use plastic on the soil of Zambia. We can at least achieve, the green, the footprint that we are always looking for or striving to achieve. Yes. Also, I wanted to just add, Doreen, that through the government, again, the authorities that, we can also introduce refills at the shops. What I mean is, instead of someone buying, a bottle that will be, discarded after 5 minutes, we can instead encourage those bottles that can, I take it back to the manufacturer, they refill it, and then like that. I remember again when I was young, there used to be a company that was making milk, and they would go door to door, to deliver the milk, and as they were delivering the milk, we would give them empty bottles, which we used last time. Yeah. So there is that system, there is that flow in which, waste is able to be moved from point A to point B and point C.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And also, speaking to just mindset, like you mentioned, Madam Langisha, I feel maybe before I put my point, I feel, do you have things like, let's say, like you mentioned, some roadshows that you conduct? Do you also have other ways in which you reach out to communities to probably speak to the minds of the people? Because we have people also that feel, if I've got a maid, I can literally throw the litter because, well, she's coming to pick it up. But I think, are you looking into those ways where you speak to people on cleanness, people that also need to have that perfection? Like, you want perfection in everything.
Okay. Okay. Another program that we do is trainings. Okay. Yes. So far, we've done very well around hotels. Yes. We are teaching. We are doing trainings in the kitchens at the hotels. Okay. Believe it or not, there's so much waste that comes from hotel kitchens. Let me say, because they are, constantly buying and constantly, emptying, the bottles and whatnot, whatever it is that is, the package. So we are constantly, carrying out these consultative meetings and so on. So it is actually helping in one way or the other. Okay. Sure.
But how do you think government can also help? Just to help also in being a part of the zero waste movement, just to also reduce waste on a larger scale.
Okay. Government has, government is our father. Government is our head of, the country. Whatever they say goes. But let me just, say something here. I was very disappointed when I heard that was it Lusaka City Council that had passed a law that plastic should be sold instead of plastic should be banned. I was very disappointed, and people now have gone into buying. If I can afford to buy 20 plastics, where will I take the 20 plastics at the end of the day? You understand? So even the buying itself is not very good for our environment and for the health of our people. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. So through Millennium TV, I would humbly ask the government to look into the issues of finding alternative material for in place of a single-use plastic. It's not helping. It's not sustainable. So we need to move, into looking at other alternatives that we can use. I have seen and I've interacted with a lot of women that are into, basket making and whatnot. They use reeds, okay? And reeds, they are not harmful to the environment. So if we can go that route. Also, nowadays, people have devised means and ways of, displaying the water to drink. So instead of using a plastic bottle, they are, putting in bottles, glass bottles. So let's say at the conference, I would want to see a Zambia that is able to, display water in refillable glass bottles instead of the plastic bottles. It looks fancy when people are walking with, some bottle. But at the end of the day, where will you take that waste? Tomorrow, Monday to Friday, you've been drinking water. Where are you taking that bottle? Okay, what is your role in ensuring that that bottle is put to the right use or in the right place? Because the landfill is filled up. It is actually overflowing. As I've already alluded to the point, it's overflowing. So where will you take the waste that we are generating currently? So we need to look into these things, and through our able government, we are humbly appealing that if they can open doors, if they can listen to us, if we can work together so that we remove single-use plastic from the market and probably replace it with alternatives, that will really go a long way.
Definitely.
Sure.
Sorry to take you back, but just as you mentioned that you had to go back and studied environmental science, maybe even through your study, what were some of the things that helped you have this inspiration, this actually desire to ensure that you don't see no waste in Zambia? Okay. What are some of the things you're coming across which made you feel I need to push this agenda, even after leaving school?
Okay. I think most of our lecturers were alive. Okay. Yeah, and they were very practical. Okay. Very practical, such that they would take you to what's that? Zafiko? Yeah, they take you, see the benefits of having trees. When a tree is, cut, another one is being replanted immediately. Yeah, immediately. And so I got encouraged, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing. If only our chiefs also and the headmen who, give consent to the charcoal burners can do the same, to say, if you are coming to my palace to ask for a tree or two, come with 10 others so that you plant. That will, help. So during our study, we visited many of these places, and we saw the advantages and disadvantages. Yes.
That helped you.
Sure.
And then just alongside with family now seeing you transition to this environmentalist, how they played a role also in helping you make this agenda, this organization really be a success?
My family is very instrumental, especially my last born. Okay. I remember when we started, it would be very frustrating at times. There was no money, there was nothing. And I was using my salary, to put up one or two things, And so sometimes I would get frustrated. You put up a salary in something and then it doesn't work. Yeah. And I would just pack everything in my suitcase. Then my son was, Mommy, has zero waste ended? Like that. Yeah. So when he sees you again, because you have this burning issue, you have this goal, you have, something to achieve. After a few days, you start taking out then he will say, Mommy, has it started again? So confusing. I know. Yeah. So they are very instrumental, they are very helpful, they are very
Christian.
supportive.
Yeah.
They are very supportive. I pray that one of them will, take up the mantle one day.
They will. I'm sure they're also following up on Zero Waste
Sure,
in the
sure.
house. Well, but what kind of education programs and resources do you offer to schools, business, and individuals out there?
Okay, so in schools we have a project called Tilitonse, Catch Them Young, where we are, encouraging pupils to formulate zero waste clubs. Okay. So I think you remember when you were in school, there used to be a day, mostly a Thursday, when, you would branch into these clubs. Yeah. And so we've seen that it is helping at least children within those zero waste clubs. They are able to talk about some of these things that we are discussing. And when you impact the mind of a child, the information will not depart from them. And through them, we are also encouraging that they take the good news back home. So that's probably even in our homes, information can trickle down. Yes. In companies and whatnot, as I said earlier, we are doing trainings. Okay. Yeah. So far, we've done well. I can pat myself on my back, with doing trainings in hotels. At least we are able to,
see the work going on.
Sure.
But other than that, are there any new initiatives or programs that you're excited to launch in the coming year?
We have something, but it's still in the pipeline. Okay. So I would want to just keep quiet. Yeah, but I would ask the viewers out there to probably maybe follow us on our Facebook page, so that they can, not miss some of these activities that we are going to launch in 2025.
But generally, what are some of the organization's goals, plans for the future, and how do you see yourself contributing to zero waste movement?
I would like to, or rather we would like, as an organization and as an individual, I would like to see a visible recycling plant. Okay. We would like to come up with a recycling plant. Something that someone will be able to walk into and, have a feel of a recycling plant. Not the hidden recycling plants that we have had. At least I should be able to point to say, when I move from this road to that corner, I'm finding a reliable recycling plant, an indigenous Zambian recycling plant. So that is our main goal, actually, so that we can, have most of this plastic recycled. We have a lot of plastic. Yeah. And if God gave us a chance to open a recycling plant, the other thing I would want to see us do is to bring down that mountain at the Malabo. Just clear it and let's start afresh, so that maybe we can also take the waste sorting systems there, so that when it comes, the dirt is coming from the residential areas or whichever place, we are able to sort it immediately to give you to pave way for the other waste that will be coming. So we take it immediately, as if nothing happens, but something happens. Yeah.
But then, to the viewers that are watching, how can they get involved in support your organization's mission to achieve the zero waste?
Okay. Our able viewers, you can reach us on 0955. That is, by the way, a WhatsApp only number, 0955 627 507. If you call on weekends, no one will attend to your call. So if you WhatsApp again over the weekend, no one may attend to you. So you'll be attended to during the week and during working hours. Also, you can simply go to the Facebook page, which is called Zero Waste Organization dash Zambia. Zero Waste Organization with Z. So Zero Waste Organization dash Zambia. You'll be able to follow us and you will not miss anything that is anything to do with the organization. Yes.
But is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience about your organization and the importance of Zero Waste itself for them to really feel the need for this to be a part?
Okay. I would urge the viewers out there to follow the waste reduction hierarchy, which is also known as the 5 R's. Okay. Reuse, reduce, recycle, rethink, and then rot. So at the end, when you look at the hierarchy, it's actually very huge, very big at the top. And as you go down, it narrows down. And the last one is the landfill, meaning that we are actually encouraging reduction. We are encouraging reusing. We are encouraging recycling. Don't say that you have not seen a recycling plant the way I've said it, but you can recycle in your own home. I've talked about, reusing the dishes, those old dishes. I've talked about, composting. All those things will reduce the amount of waste that we put in the bins and eventually at the landfill.
Even as we conclude with our conversation, Madam Langizia, just one moment that you felt gave you a big push for you to really come up with such a big organization to really work on the waste itself. Did you have an encounter where you hated dirty so much, like, I think I need to push this away?
Okay.
Apart from the countrywide, I know cholera, all that has been disturbing you.
Yeah. I'm one person who hates spits, sputum. Early in the morning, if you take a walk, you find a lot of sputum on the... Yeah, I don't like that. It really disturbs my... my appetite. The whole day I'll not want to eat. So some of these things that we take for granted really mean a lot. Yeah. You find, especially our men, they urinate anywhere. For me, I'm put off. Yeah. So we need to work. It's a whole thing, Zero waste doesn't just mean waste. Yeah, it talks of climate change issues. It talks of, anything to do with the environment, conservation of trees and whatnot. It's very broad and it's very huge. Yeah. So it is something that one person cannot do, but it's like a body which has many parts. Yeah. And this one does that one does that, like that. We'll be able to, achieve a zero waste Zambia one day and kick out cholera and diarrhea.
Once and for all.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Madam Langizia. And you have your last words to viewers out there.
Don't forget to follow us on our Facebook page. It's very important to us when we engage with the community, because through our Facebook page, through the WhatsApp number that I gave, you'll be able to engage with us and also tell us where there's an issue that needs the urgent attention. So we can't know if you do not, interact with us. So follow us on Zero Waste Zambia, Zero Waste Organization #Zambia, Zero Waste Organization #Zambia. Our WhatsApp number again is 0955 627 507. You are welcome. You are welcome to be a volunteer. You are welcome to bring any idea that you may have as, a well-meaning Zambian to us. We will welcome you and it shall be well.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
We've really learned a lot. Zero Waste Organization. We look forward to visiting you.
Thank you very much, Madam Doreen. Thank you.
Dear viewers, joining us this afternoon on Visionary Corner is Zambia Waste Organization CEO and founder, Madam Langizia Masengu Shimba, who is actually a secondary school teacher and environmentalist. And this is what we had for you this particular afternoon, hearing from such a background. To those of you, the students out there watching, are also in school, passionate about something. Let's ensure to pursue those particular dreams for the betterment of our country. Zambia can also tell a similar story in your different area where you have your interest. But for now, we come to the end of the Visionary Corner right here on Millennium TV. Tune in for more at 16 hours every Mondays. I've been your host, Doreen Kapampa. For now, it's bye-bye. Good afternoon.